Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jurnee Taylor. Before we get you started, let's see how traffic is moving on this Tuesday afternoon. No major incidents to report at this time, but you may experience a little bit of lunchtime rush if you're getting out soon. Just a reminder to buckle up and drive safe. Now, around this time of day, the sun is starting to peek through and warm things up. Let's send things over to meteorologist Simone Thomas for a look at what we can expect in this forecast. Simone?
Well, Jurnee, a lot of us are already up to or near that 70-degree mark. If there's any indication of how much warmer we'll be today compared to this time yesterday, we do see a few passing clouds, but like Jurnee just said, we are still seeing some streaks of sunshine. So another great day to get outside, quite like yesterday. 69 the current in the capital city, already up to 70 in Pine Bluff, Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, more of the middle 60s, 64 and 65. As we continue through the afternoon, we will see some more of those clouds moving in. Temperatures today looking to get up to more of the lower to middle 70s. If you take a look across the state, much warmer than yesterday, but we are seeing some breezy winds coming from the southwest. Bottom line though, still a good day to get outside. 74 going to be that high in the metro, Hot Springs, Pine Bluff, most of central Arkansas looking to get up to around that 74 mark. Now we do have some rain chances coming up pretty soon that we need to talk about. Stick around for that 7-day outlook. I'll have all you need to know.
A nationwide lockdown triggered by a global pandemic, that was our reality 4 years ago. Since then, millions of dollars were sent out to keep states and cities from crumbling. And in Little Rock, what's left of that money could soon be used to create a brand new fire department. The American Rescue Plan Act sent more than $37 million to the city, and soon city directors could decide whether or not what's left of that chunk of cash will go toward that new fire station in West Little Rock.
With our city growing further west, we need to make sure we have a station there so they can get to those emergencies as quickly as possible.
The decision on whether or not to move forward with such plans could be made in the coming weeks. From bouncing back from a pandemic to recovering from natural disasters, residents are looking to rebuild after a tornado ripped through the community of Wynne, Arkansas, almost a year ago.
We're going to come out of this and we're going to do it together.
And that was Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Moore just a year ago, reassuring his community after an EF3 tornado destroyed Wynne High School. The process of moving forward, beginning with construction for a new building underway. Now, while progress is being made, Dr. Moore says there's still plenty that needs to be fixed, but students say it's something they look forward to becoming a reality. Residents in Helena, West Helena could soon see improvements happening to their failing water system. Folks there were left without water for weeks when their systems collapsed earlier this year. The city is now set to receive $11 million for projects aimed at improving water systems. That's just a large portion of the $42 million that will ensure things are up to speed across the entire state.
That means new wells, improvements to the water treatment plants, and very critically, just replacing very old leaky water lines.
Helena, West Helena is still relying on outside sources for their water. However, that could change when a new well is put in this summer. Well, turning now to new developments, a Hot Springs investigation is now in the hands of state police after a police officer was shot. Here's a look at the scene from late last night. Hot Springs police say one of their own was shot. However, that officer is expected to be okay. Now, we can confirm that 43-year-old Jody Lynn Lewis died as a result of the shooting. New information on this just came into our newsroom also moments ago. Reports say the shooting ignited during a traffic stop at the Albert Pike Car Wash. The injured officer is in stable condition at a local hospital, while the suspect's body was taken to the Arkansas State Crime Lab for a cause of death to be determined. Another investigation continues by Little Rock police after a shooting left one man dead. Here's what we know so far. Police say they responded to a call of shots fired off a Reservoir Road. That's also when a hospital called them to report a patient who was shot. Police say they believe a shootout happened after two groups of people got into a confrontation. We're still waiting for more details, but we'll update you once we know more. And new details surrounding a mass shooting that killed 3 people at a party in Jonesboro this weekend. According to police, 32-year-old Tyrell Moody started firing rounds, killing Amari Giles and Dwight Starks. Moody himself also ended up dead in the altercation. 3 others were injured and taken to the hospital. Right now, there's no word on their conditions. New details as chaos continues to unravel in Haiti. Overnight, the country's Prime Minister Ariel Henry resigned from his office. Attacks on Haiti's main airport left Henry stuck in Puerto Rico for days. His resignation comes following threats of war if he failed to step down. The U.S. is urging Americans in Haiti to flee the country when they can. Florida lawmakers are now heavily monitoring the situation.
The more we allow the gang members to take over the country and be successful in their plans, the bigger security risk that we have to our country.
Non-essential embassy personnel were airlifted to safety by the U.S. military this weekend. In the last week alone, 15,000 Haitians were left displaced due to violence. Lawmakers continue to raise questions over President Biden's handling of classified documents, with former special counsel Robert Hur expected to testify. Natalie Brand has details on why he's on thin ice with Democrats.
Former special counsel Robert Hur defended his year-long probe seeking not to prosecute President Biden after finding he willfully retained classified materials after the end of his vice presidency.
We did not, however, identify evidence that rose to the level of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Because the evidence fell short of that standard, I declined to recommend criminal charges against Mr. Biden.
Republicans on the committee called it a double standard.
I think it would be toxic to the rule of law on its face if it was just 2 ordinary citizens. But the fact that the only person being prosecuted for this offense happens to be the president's political opponent makes this an unprecedented assault on our democracy.
Democrats compared Biden's actions to former President Trump's documents case.
According to the indictment, he not only refused to return the documents for months, but he also obstructed justice by enlisting others to destroy evidence and then to lie about it.
The Hur report noted President Biden couldn't remember the timeline of certain key dates. CBS News reviewed the transcript of the 5-hour interview, shedding light on an exchange where President Biden recalled the day and month his son Beau died, but White House lawyers reminded him of the year.
What I wrote is what I believe the evidence shows, and what I expect jurors would perceive and believe.
Hur says he does not believe he disparaged the president unfairly, but says it was relevant to explain his decision. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And that's all happening while the presidential nomination is still up for grabs. And today, voters in 4 states will head to the polls to decide who will lead their party in November. Georgia, Hawaii, Mississippi, and Washington State all set to hold their primary elections today. A total of 161 delegates are at stake for the Democratic and Republican contest, bringing both President Biden and former President Trump closer to clinching the nomination. We're seeing a whole lot of new technology these days. With that comes the need to keep drivers safe. In 2 minutes, details on if the newest cars are right for you.
And I hope you get outside today because we've got some rain coming in the forecast pretty soon. Stick around after this break. We'll talk about the details.